Welcome back. Quite an interest here since it's winter time and things are getting colder. Hey Charlie the cat, he's out here helping me again. Quite a few had an interest in the heater box, and this is also new to me. So take off your heater box, your 9 1/4-inch screws, 10 just to loosen that, and your plug and your ground, and you take off the one screw here, 11, that's also 1/4-inch, to take off your cable for your hot and cold flap and your 2 heater hoses. As we can see, there's a flap here. You look in the flap, I just pulled this one out of this car here, so we'll go through it quickly. So here's the car's been sitting. The air comes through your grill vent up top here, works its way down into this chamber, and that's where the fan sits against. As you can see, all the material that's in there, and this is the actual drain here. Here is your hot and cold flap I was talking about earlier. That's the bottom cable from your hot and cold control. Moves this flap, which controls the air. This part here was the part that is, you got 2 holes there, and you got 1 hole here going down the floor, and this box sat in there. So to remove the box on the inside, you take your dash pad out, your glove box, and you'll start removing some of those plastic tubes that divert the air, which we'll show later. So from the inside, you got 1, 2, 3 11 millimeters, and you got 2 10s, and the rest of it is all just foamed in, caulked in place. One of the biggest problems I find is this vent control here. You see it's got a foam on it, and these are usually deteriorated or gone through the system, blown out in particles, or that plastic hinge itself will crack. And that is controlled, I'll turn it around, from the inside of the car. Your top cable on the one side for your vent control moves this one, and I'll show you the other one later here. But what I did notice when I pulled this box out, this seal here was totally twisted up and across. It wasn't located properly in place, so either somehow over the years this thing got shifted with heat and allows gases and heat, your hot air, to escape. So here is the whole firewall from the inside without the heater box attached, and as you can see, this has an accommodation built up here to change the variance of angle to bring heat to the floor. And hello, Mr. Charlie. He just came through the car. That's my helper. And there's Mr. Murray out here. All right. So yeah, from the inside, what you're gonna find is one big opening here, and then underneath there is that other opening that I'll put my finger through, that the floor comes through. So you'll only have, if you take the glove box out, you'll have 1 bolt here, another bolt under your wiper, and 1 in the center area over here, and 2 under the glove box. And basically you can get a screwdriver, kind of loosen it off all around, because that caulking is going to be stuck to the firewall, and you pull that whole box out and just go through the whole thing. So here's the floor air diverter. Here that's the back piece I pulled out. It tilts and rolls out, has a flapper in there with the cable, and that flapper moves and diverts air to the floor. Looks like a little bit of lubrication. The rubber seal looks good around it. There's a rubber, you can see here, a little bit stiff as it is colder out here, and it has a short cable. Lubricating cable will help, but these are pretty short, so usually these don't break. So here's a whole tire heater setup, non-AC. So you got your fan unit, your heater core, which mates onto the back side of this. Obviously this guy here is up. Hey Charlie. So from the inside, you'd have your firewall on here. You'd have 1, 2, and 3 screws that are 11 mil, 3 nuts, and two 10mm bolts. So from the inside, you have a couple 7mm screws up against the dash here. You can take that part out, and this is the part that goes to your dash, your 2 vents. Underneath that you have another foam area, and this is the airflow diverter that blows out onto the floor, and it has only got again, I believe it was just a couple screws holding it in place. There's a bolt actually. The firewall that's between this has some kind of a lip and metal work that accommodates that. So this seal here was not in place at all. When I pulled this cover off on the inside, and to expose that hole, I see that this part was hanging into the car. Now in the engine compartment area, you're gonna get gases and fumes coming in to your cabin, and also you're going to be losing your hot air to your car. So that piece was mounted inside the car like this through the body. Well, first of all, we took this guy off the top here, which had a couple fingers and 2 7mm bolts there. So we took that off. That's your air diverter to your defrost vents. And then here's your short cable that goes to the controller for the defrost and floor, and it has a flapper in here with a rubber on it, and I guess these things probably stay in pretty good condition, not seeing any sunlight. Yeah, they're a little bit stiff. Probably you can see there's a hinge part there, and lubricate this cable. So there's those parts for your venting, and like I said, these things here get all the dirt on top. This would be the firewall against this side, and this would be the biggest part, this hinge here. And actually you can see here, it's already breaking right here. This is the other cable that attaches from the vent and cold, and if you look from the other side, I'll turn it around here, you can see that the whole foam here is all coming off, and it's not going to seal that door. So something has to be done about this door, and as you can see, it's just falling apart here in pieces. So this door will crack off, foam will be gone, and finding out now, I just took this guy out, that this seal here was not in place at all around. So to do a proper job, you have to take this all apart, clean it, recock it, and put it all back together, and you will have yourself heat again. And this other door is usually, it looks like it's in pretty good condition here, the hot and cold diverter. A little bit of lubrication on the hinge, and yeah, a lot of cleaning. I haven't touched this thing at all, like I said. Let's see the chunks that are in there on that flapper door. I just pushed it out. 30-year-old cars, take them apart, reseal them all properly, and it looks like this is a big issue on a lot of them. This thick foam, it shifts its location, and you're gonna lose heat to your floor. You guys have a good day. We got Mr. Murray out here as well.